Hello, listeners, and welcome to the fourth program in our series, Let's Learn History, which is produced for grade 9 learners and anybody else who has an interest in the subject. My name is Ronald Krotz. Today, we learn about the United Nations Transition Assistance Group, Utag. Please have a pen and notebook ready so that you can make notes of the important points. And don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. During the Namibian liberation struggle, many countries and different organizations offered their help in the struggle. This includes the United Nations organization. In April 1989, the United Nations sent its multinational peacekeeping force called Utag to help. I hope this lesson will shed more light on the peacekeeping force Utag. At the end of the program, you should be able to define the term Utag. Name the leading personalities who were in charge of Utag. Page 2. Name the leading personalities who were in charge of the Utag operation in Namibia and describe the purpose of Utag. Today, the 21st of March 1990, Namibia celebrates its independence. Therefore, at the same time, we are honoring and thanking all those that helped in the struggle, in one way or another, including the United Nations multinational peacekeeping force, Utag, as they have worked hard to make the 1989 election process easy and successful.
Hi, Divine. You came at just the right time. Quickly listen to the radio with me. Did you hear that? Utag. That's the topic we were debating about in class, remember? Unfortunately, the speech just ended. But I heard it very well when they said they made the 1989 election process in Namibia easy.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Hey, look, here comes Mr. Krotz. It seems like he has got a free period. Let's ask him to explain to us more about Utag.
That's a great idea. Let's go.
Good morning, Angelina and Divine. How can I help you?
Good morning, sir. So we heard about Utag on the radio as a peacekeeping body that helped Namibia to get independence. And we would like to know more about it since we've noticed that it's a big part of history topics. We want to know about its definition and the leading personalities that were in charge of it.
Thank you, Angelina and Divine, for your questions. Let me start with the definition. Utag stands for the United Nations Transition Assistance Group, and it was a multinational United Nations peacekeeping force dedicated to prevent violence from breaking out between opposing forces. Utag came to Namibia in 1989 and was sent as a fulfillment of the United Nations Resolution 435, which stated that the United Nations must supervise the elections of 1989. The people who were in charge of this peacekeeping body were Martti Ahtisaari, a diplomat from Finland, and then Joseph Leguile from Botswana, and Lieutenant General Prem Chand from India.
Interesting, and I understand. But sir, what was the purpose of Utag to come to Namibia?
Great question, Divine. The purpose was to supervise the repatriation of refugees and the registration process of the voters, to monitor the withdrawal of the South African and Cuban troops from Namibia and Angola respectively, to supervise the 1989 general election and to manage the independent process in Namibia. Also to register the voters for education. Take 2. Also to register the voters for election, educating voters, advertising the voting process, and to ensure that all Namibians had the opportunity to vote.
Thank you for the excellent explanation, sir. I think we understand now.
That's very good to hear. For exam purposes, just make sure that you do understand what Utag stands for and who were the leading personalities.
Well noted, sir. We will make sure we master all those questions.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Enjoy the rest of your day and study hard. And that brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here is your question for the day. Question: how important was Utag to the Namibian people? Explain your answer. Question 2. What did the Namibian people think about the arrival of Utag in Namibia? Explain your answer. That will be the last question. Then from myself, Ronald Krotz, the program developer Yul van Harte, and the Namcol production crew, thanks again for listening. Until tomorrow, take care.
This program was brought to you by Namcol with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.